The ocean is pretty deep, but our conversations can get deeper. My name is Casey, and welcome to the first episode of Deep Blue. I'm here with my special guest for today, Adrian Ghastly. So, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How's it going?
It's going pretty well. First episode of this show. Is your last name in reference to the Pokemon?
Yeah. It's it's a play on my actual last name, and then I just thought it sounded cool. And I'm not like the biggest fan of Pokemon, but but I like it, and it's my favorite Pokemon for sure.
Yeah, so for an audience that doesn't really know who you are and what you do, you want to just say what you've done?
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Adrian Ghastly, and I'm a YouTuber content creator that I've been making videos really since I was like 12 or 13 at like 11
Mm-hmm.
and or 2012 2013 is what I meant to say at like and uh and yeah, I've been making videos for a long time, but like within the past like 4 or 5 years or so, I've been making like kind of like a video essay documentary style, like internet investigation type videos, like just like 4 or 5 minute little videos about like finding, like the origins of creepypastas and or creepypasta images, and like just like interesting things I find online that I think are cool and just want to share with the world.
So how did you start? So you say you've been doing this since you were 12. And then if you go to the beginning of your channel or very early on in your channel, you have the horror videos or the horror animations. Yeah, so just talk about your start and then just slowly get into now.
Yeah, for sure. So like when I first was doing YouTube, I was just making like just little shitty Minecraft videos,
That's how everyone starts.
That was right? Like that was a big thing for me for a while. And I stuck with it for like 3 or 4 years. I was like making videos like once a week, and it didn't get anywhere, of course. Like it didn't really get anywhere until I was like later on in high school. And I started making I started like sort of animating, like pseudo animating, like making characters move around and like drawing like little pixelated characters. And I would make music videos was a thing that I really liked doing. And then after a while, what really got big was making the horror stories, the Mr. Nightmare horror stories. And and like that blew up like crazy, like from the very beginning. And I was like maybe I was getting like from going from like getting like 30 views or whatever to 10k plus or 50k plus sometimes. It was pretty crazy for a while. And I stuck with it for a minute, and but I didn't want to just do that. So I started like branching out, doing other things. And I would stop making videos and come back, and I would just get caught up because like as an artist, like I'm very distracted. Like I don't just make videos, like I draw and like I 3D model, and like I just make things. I just like making things, So so I would drop YouTube, and I would come back to it later, and I would just like be interested in something else entirely, and just start doing other things. And so then I ended up stopping horror stories and just focusing on other things. And then when I came back to YouTube in like 2020-ish or so is when I started making I made like a liminal spaces video, kind of like just analyzing and being interested in like why do they look the way they do, and like why do they make us feel the way they do. And that ended up kind of blowing up too, like bigger than horror stories did. And then from there I just started making like my documentary kind of, I guess video essay is the term, video, like little short video essay type videos.
Yeah, I noticed you haven't really uploaded in a month, but you did say you had a script coming up. And then also in your channel, there was also a gap. I'd say around almost a year, maybe I'd say 10 months where you just didn't upload. Is like YouTube just like a side thing? Do you want to make it a main thing? Is there like a day job you do? Or it's like a main hobby you focus on?
Yeah. I mean, like like as an artist, like I get distracted, and like I focus on all kinds of different things. But and YouTube is just one of those things, So I end up leaving for a while and then coming back and then leaving again. Like that's a big thing with me. And but I do enjoy it a lot. And like I've thought many times like, this will probably be it. Like I'll probably be done after this. But then I'll end up coming back and like being like, oh, I just thought of a great idea for a video. And that's why would come back like 10 months later or so. Like the 10-month gap was when I was like kind of like graduating college-ish, like the very end, and like I just had a lot to focus on. And like artistically, I was making 3D models more. Like that's like what I was doing mostly. And then yeah, and this month gap right now is just because like I was moving into a new place and I was just kind of busy. But yeah, I do have a script coming, and like I do enjoy making videos, and I want to like maybe be a little more consistent about it, like just because it's fun. And yeah, I just want to keep going. And yeah, so yeah, I do have a script, and like I'm just really hoping to get like this freaking video done.
I mean, you want to leak any details about it yet?
No, for sure. It's about like there's, my videos usually start with like, so I was just, browsing YouTube and came across something weird. Like here's the weird thing I found. Like that's where a lot of my videos just kind of come from. So this time I found this this weird video that calls itself an internet checkpoint, and it's like, and if you scroll down into the comments, you see like people talking about like their lives, and like it's what all the video is just relaxing kind of music, and people like, and if you scroll down to the comments, people just like talk about their lives and like talk about like the things going on. And I just thought it was a really interesting concept, like as like an internet checkpoint, like as a checkpoint like in a game, and I thought that was like,
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting, and just wanted to talk about it, and just like, yeah, just talk about mental health in general. Just think it would be like interesting, and just an interesting topic.
Is the internet checkpoint one, is that the one with the vines? Because I know that's from a game. I've seen that video. It's the one with the vines and has the really ambient music.
Yeah, it's the
Have you ever played the game? It's from
the Donkey
Chrono
Kong
Trigger,
or like the Chrono Trigger music.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a Donkey Kong one too, right?
Music. I've never played. Yeah, I've never played Chrono Trigger, but it's it's supposedly like one of the best like RPGs of all time, and
it is a great game. I played it. It's a pretty short RPG too. Like usually most RPGs are like 70, 100 hours, but this one's only like 30 hours. It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
I know there's also the Mario Kart one, and you can't look it up online. Like there's this guy playing Donkey Kong and Mario Kart on Rainbow Road. And I think that's another internet checkpoint video. Do you know that one? Because it gets recommended to me a lot.
Yeah, it's like just the blank name, and then all it is Rainbow Road. And like I think there's some music too. Yeah, I've seen that too. But yeah, it's just I find that concept kind of interesting, and yeah, just want to talk about it.
So your last video was the Pac-Man one, right? Was it a lost media video?
Yeah. The Faceball video. Yeah,
that was talk about that one.
Yeah, it's not necessarily lost media or anything, but it's these guys that like I just saw this thread on Reddit, and it's these guys that were really interested in making this game have 16 players. Like it's like a little 4-player Game Boy game where people just like shoot at each other and stuff. But like apparently there was an interview with the developer of the game saying, oh, it's possible to get 16 players, that but they didn't, Nintendo didn't want us to put it in or something, and like it was just in passing. And then these guys were dedicated to like, oh, we need to find out how to make the game 16 players. So it's just like the whole story, like trials and tribulations of what these guys had to go through in order to like this decades old Game Boy game, like trying to, just the dedication of them trying to like make this thing happen was really cool. And like I looked it up, and like I hadn't really seen anything about this, so I guess I had decided to be the person to make the video on it, even though it's not really like similar to my kind of content. But I thought like that works out. Like it's just it kind of relates in that it's like just weird internet stuff.
I'm also doing a similar video. I don't know when I'll do it, but I have the script done for it. There's this game called Leap World. You know the company Leapfrog? They make the tablets and all those toys. Yeah. So they had the Leap tablets, and if you connected them to a PC, you could download this Flash game. And this Flash game was similar to Club Penguin, Animal Jam, all those kinds of games. So basically, I'm making a video on that game because it shut down in 2016. But the thing is, this game, if you look it up, there's like no traces of it. Like there's only screenshots, there's only the trailers. I found the developer website, and I tried to get in contact with the developer, like no response. And a very few people like remember it too.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like lost media content's really cool, but when it relates
Yeah.
to the person that's talking about it, I think is so much better. It's like a different level. Like I've made a video about this. What is it? There's a game on the PS3 called PlayStation Home, and it's just kind of
Oh,
like
I
this
remember
little
that.
like
I had
MMO.
the I had the
Do you
PlayStation
remember
Home.
that?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a PS3. I
Yeah,
remember
sick.
playing PlayStation Home.
That's awesome. It was like this. Yeah, it's this weird like little Second Life kind of game, and it seemed like there wasn't a lot to do, but I would walk around for hours in PlayStation Home. But
I remember playing
there
that.
was this there was this like this there was like a theater within the game, and like you could like watch like trailers for games and stuff. And I remember the theater at one point showed like a show, like it was like a TV show. And I remember thinking about it, and I was like, damn, like I wish I could watch that again. And like I tried looking it up for like hours and couldn't find anything. And like it was just yeah, I made a whole video about it, just like talking about like trying to find this show again. And it was like this weird like little low budget like web show. And like yeah, it was fun like trying to get in contact with people and asking around. Like it's that's probably my favorite video I've ever made.
Did you ever find the original movie? I mean, the original TV show? Is anything
Yeah,
of it?
actually. Yeah, I for a long time, like I only found a trailer, and then I posted it on like the PlayStation Home subreddit, which has like 200 people, and someone, yes, like months later, like 10 months later, someone responded and was like, "Hey, like I know exactly what you're talking about. It's called this," and like he sent it to me, and like he had it on his PS3 from like decades ago, and was like, "I have it," and he downloaded the files and like posted it onto YouTube. And I was like, dude, thank you so much.
There was this guy looking for this dinosaur game. I forgot the YouTuber's name, but he's a horror YouTuber. He was looking for this horror dinosaur game that came out in the 90s where you had to go through a museum. It was basically Five Nights at Freddy's with dinosaurs. And I thought that was a really interesting video. I was like, all right, now I have to do this Leap World video. Because
Yeah.
I just think that
Oh
was like
yeah, for
really
sure.
interesting. I mean, do you have any other lost medias you'd want to find, whether it pertains to you or just one you think that should be found?
Man, a lot of yeah, I don't know. A lot of the lost media, they're okay. Like most lost media pertains to like TV shows and stuff, but like the Panic at the Disco album, Crickets and Clover, is a lost album. And it's like, and
Really?
I would love to hear that album again, or not again. I would love to hear that album. Like that's been like I heard that talked about in.
Okay, I've never heard of about this. Was this during the Ryan Ross era, like at their peak, like a
Mm-hmm.
speed where you can't sweat out era? Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I had to look this up
Yeah, it
because
was it
I'm
was
now really interested.
like okay, so there's A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, and then the next one is Pretty Odd, and like they sound weird, they sound different, but
Yeah.
there was supposedly like an in between album called Crickets and Clover that that is supposed to like be the bridge between them, like that's why Pretty Odd sounds different than A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, and like that really intrigues me.
Yeah, I like the Panchico. Panchico really intrigued me because I discovered them my freshman year just by accident. Some guy was
Mm-hmm.
posting some albums. I see their main one. I didn't even know it was Lost Media or like there was like a whole story behind it. I just thought it was just another indie band making a really experimental sound. I don't really know about the whole Lost Media till a few months ago through the Justin Wang video. I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. I honestly, same. Like I just got recommended to me like from Spotify, and like I loved it, and like I listened to the whole thing, and I like downloaded all of it. But I had no idea that it was lost media or anything like that, and until I started playing it in my videos like once or twice, and then comments were like, "Dude, you should talk about the Panchico thing," and I was like, "What?" And I looked it up, and then I ended up seeing the Wing video.
They were just in my city. Yes, you seem to be pretty big into music, and you do have that whole Instagram music account. Do you have any favorite artists, favorite albums you want to talk about?
Yeah, for sure. Like so, my favorite. Let's go with like recent stuff. I would say I really I really like this artist Underscores. If you've ever heard of Underscores, it's kind of
I think I've
like
heard the
this.
name. But I don't know if I've heard their stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like this. I saw her tour with 100 Gex, and I really liked like I just love the sound. It was very the first album was very hyper pop, and then it kind of turned into its own thing after that, like more like almost acoustic. And I really like recently. Like I really like underscores. That's probably like who I'd recommend. Older stuff,
Hmm.
my favorite album of all time is David Bowie is an album called Hunky Dory. It came out in
Oh, that's one of my favorite
1971.
albums too. It's top 5 albums for me
Oh,
too. Yeah, it's a great album.
sick. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like I have super fond memories of that album. Like my mom would play that all the time when I was a kid, and like it's probably like the first album I ever like heard all the way through, you know? And just having that experience like as an adult and going back and listening to it again and realizing like I know all these songs like is just really cool. So like that's older stuff, that's like my favorite album of all time. Yeah, I love Death Grips, and I love yeah, I guess I like all sorts of stuff. I almost have to like look at my Spotify and like just see what I'm listening to right now. You know what I mean? I guess like off
So
the
you're
top of
more
my
into
head.
the very experimental, like techno kind of sound.
Yeah, like uh yeah, like for sure. Like weird experimental stuff is always great, and like noisy kind of like really noisy stuff, and like punk and uh shoegaze especially. Yeah, that's just yeah, I'm into music for sure.
So how much have you spent on records? Give a rough estimate. If you were to give a total estimate of how much you spent on records.
Yeah. All right. So it's got to be like me, like whole collection, right? It's
Yeah.
probably like it's probably like 50 or 60 records. So like it's hundreds, like few $100. Most of them are 25, 28-ish bucks, but some of them were more. Like I really wanted the Tron soundtrack. Do you remember the movie Tron Legacy?
Yeah, I've seen it. Not in a while,
It's
but
one
I've
of
seen it.
it it's one of the sickest soundtracks ever. Like, and cuz it's all Daft Punk. And that and that was a little more expensive. So like some of them are a little more expensive, but most of them are like roughly 28-ish bucks. Like yeah, like at least at what, $800 to like $1,000-ish on that shit, probably.
Okay, that's not as bad as I would assume. I know a few friends have probably spent thousands on records. Like they'll be
Yeah,
struggling to pay rent, and then they'll just still go to the record store every week.
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Like I used to, yeah, like I used to be super into it, and like I haven't collected in like a minute, but the ones that I'm really sought after right now for sure are Chaperone and Brat. Like
You know, you're after those two. That was unexpected. I was about to, I thought I was going to hear some like punk band or some experimental group, and then I hear Chaperone and Brat. You like
yeah, I
those
mean those
two?
are great. Like
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean always on the lookout for like new punk stuff for sure. But yeah, like
Mm.
yeah, I like a lot of pop stuff too. Like I guess, like people always say like, "Oh, I'm into everything. Put on whatever." But like man, like I'm into a lot of stuff. Like I am into like everything.
Even country.
That's the thing, right? Never
Yeah.
say never, you know? Oh, I might come around to country eventually.
Noise rock. Like just
Oh, I
straight
love
screeching, it's smashing guitars, like everything just
it.
incomprehensible. If I said that word right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I love noise. I love Merzbow. Have you ever heard of Merzbow?
No.
Yeah, that's just like screeching.
Yeah, I was in a friend's car one time, and then another kid in the car was in a grindcore band, and then he was like, "Yeah, let me put you on," and then I just heard the worst sounding noises in my life that whole car ride. I mean, I respect
That
it, but it just really not my thing. Just straight like screeching, like plate, like a fork scratching a plate. It's kind of what it sounded like. But if you
right.
like put
Yeah.
a chorus pedal on it,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's very it's cool to have sometimes, but I feel like having that as like your daily driver kind of music is it's hard on the soul, I feel like.
yeah. Do you play an instrument, or have you ever like made music, been in a band?
Man, I that's probably the next venture for me. Like I would love to make music, but no, I haven't I don't make music. I don't play any instruments. But like if anything, like I would love to play guitar probably.
So for this next part, I'm
Mhm.
gonna I'm gonna share my screen. Tell me if it starts lagging or if there's any frame drops. I'm gonna share my screen, and then I'm gonna pull up some photos, and you tell them where the just give me their origins, what they mean to you, and
Yeah.
just anything about those images. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
All
the
right.
first
So
one. Just tell me about it.
this, yeah. So this is obviously a Henna Hennicide, the creepy doll picture. This was something that like I saw when I was like 12, right? In like a
Yeah.
long time ago, in like on a Minecraft horror map, and like it was just like a jump scare, like a face that was a jump scare, and I saw it and I was like, that's horrifying. Like I was looking at the texture pack files and stuff to download, and I saw that, and I was like, I'm not downloading this shit. And yeah, I could but it scared me like crazy. And then like years later, like a decade later, I saw it again on like this like weird core kind of like Instagram account, and I was like, wow, I remember that. And like I looked it up, and that became my video. Where did this image come from?
And it has 1.8 million views. What was your reaction to that image or that video blowing up?
Okay, so
Because it is
I
seems to
made
be
that
one of your big
video.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my biggest video for sure. I made that video like I made that video, and then it got like 1,000 views for like over a year. And it kind of like I was, I made it and I was like, oh, this is cool, and it kind of didn't get anywhere. And then it sat like just kind of dormant for over a year until Blame It on Jorge made his video with the same name, and he was talking about Jeff the Killer, but he made that same he made it, the same name, and it was kind of like just the thumbnail of the creepypasta image, like same thing as my video. And so that my video must have been recommended to a bunch of people because of that. And then the video ended up like blowing up like crazy after that. Like I think like a year or two later. And yeah, when that happened, like I just started like getting a bunch of comment like notifications on my phone, and I was like, oh no way. And like I looked it up, and I was like, this is crazy. Like it was really an insane experience. Like it's something that I had never expected to happen at all.
The way I know about this photo was through the Facebook account. How do you pronounce it again?
Mm-hmm.
Riss Hennicide?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I found out through the Scare Theater video. He talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
No, he talked about the Facebook account. I just thought that was a very interesting thing going on. This Facebook account. I'm not exactly sure what they did. I just remember they sent links that made you think it was Minecraft, but it was some kind of website. And
Mm-hmm.
I just know they just sent a bunch of people things. I just remember thinking that was really interesting, and that image just creeping me out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that Scare Theater video. Yeah. Probably one of the best horror YouTubers, Scare Theater, right there.
Yeah, he's the OG. I used to watch
Yeah.
him a lot in middle school, and then I was really glad to see him come back because I remember he had a long hiatus, and then all of a sudden he just came
Mm-hmm.
back. I'm still watching his new stuff.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Yeah, for me it was like early high school. And then like when he came back, like I was all into it. So, yeah, I'm glad he's coming back too.
You have some other favorite horror YouTubers?
Yeah, like I really, yeah, like Nexpo's pretty good, and there's if you ever heard of Barely Sociable,
I've seen his stuff.
that's, yeah, like if that counts as horror, like that's probably one of my favorites too. And yeah, those are the main go-tos. And like for a lot, yeah, like horror adjacent, Blame It on Jorge for sure.
I know you worked with Jaden Salads. Have you worked with anyone else?
No, yeah.
Just him?
I kind of, yeah, I don't know. Like for a long time being on YouTube, I just kind of stuck to myself and like was just doing my own thing. And then it wasn't really until like maybe the past like 2 or 3 years that like people would reach out to me and like ask me if I wanted to be in stuff. But then that got me thinking like that I should start reaching out to. So like I might have I have a few ideas where like because to ask people to be in my videos.
If you could collaborate with anyone, who would you collaborate with?
Man, okay. Have you ever heard of Emperor Lemon?
Oh, yeah, I've seen him. Yeah.
I've I've been watching Emperor Lemon like pretty much like the entirety that I've been on YouTube. He's the one that initially inspired me to make video essays, like my short documentary style videos. Like he totally inspired me to do that. And if I could talk to him or like collaborate with him somehow, that'd be really sick.
Any other YouTubers you'd like to collaborate with?
I'm not sure. Maybe like there's YouTubers I'd want to talk to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be it. Like that would be the best one. Like probably like my favorite YouTuber.
All right. So about Henna's side. So how was like the
Mm-hmm.
process finding it? Like, because you did find the original. You did find the original picture for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how was like the whole process for you?
So yeah, when I first made my video, I just kind of put it into the image search engine called TinEye, and I came across like I came across like a bunch of different videos or a bunch of different pictures like that are similar, and like I ended up finding like some old threads and like just some old like links that didn't work. Like it's kind of fun. It's like looking through like old documents of things that just aren't even like entirely intact. It's kind of it's interesting. And like yeah, I didn't come across much, but I did come across like the other similar image with the eyes bleeding. And so I came across that and I kept that and I was like, oh, this is like the same kind of image. And the process was just kind of like looking into it and like trying to find like what people were talking about, if other people were interested. And like at the end of the first video I didn't find the image. I was like, well, that sucks. But I uploaded it anyway, and then after it blew up, then I think there were more eyes on the search. Eventually, there was a YouTuber like this Japanese YouTuber that somehow was emailed the picture and came across it. Like somehow came across it. I don't think they really explained how, but they showed off the original image, and and I was yeah, like I was shown that video, like I was sent that video just like in the comments because my video was blowing up, and like the video had just been uploaded, so I was like, oh, like it's been found, awesome, and like I left it there for a while. Like I just kind of like copied the link to his video and I put it at the bottom of my video and was like, hey, like this guy found it, cool. And then after a while, I was like, nah, I should make another video, like a little part two or something, just for people to know. And yeah, so I showed off that video of people finding it, and yeah, showed the image.
All right. So for the next one is also one you did a video on, and it's Smile
Mm-hmm.
Dog. And this one fucked me up when I was a lot younger. I saw this photo when I was like 10, gave me nightmares. I mean, it still creeps me out now, but yeah. I mean, you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, same kind of thing with me. Like it totally freaked me out like crazy when I was a kid. Like I found it super interesting and was like, this would be another awesome video similar to the last one. And like I just put the video in tin or put the picture in tin eye again, and like tried coming across like similar pictures. And after like a lot of scrolling, like there was a few Reddit threads a talking about like this old meme of like a husky with like its mouth open, and it ended up being I someone on Reddit said like, oh, it looks kind of similar, and I was like, it does. So I grabbed the picture, I threw it into Photoshop, and I tried like messing with it, like messing with like the saturation and things like that, and I used like the remove tool on like the nose and like tried like making it look like the Smile Dog image, and I ended up getting like pretty close to like almost like an exact replica. And I was like, oh, this is for sure that image. So like I made the video, like I added that picture, and then later on, like someone else on Reddit, like in the comments, was just like, oh, and here's the curtains, and I was like, oh, cool, and like there was the exact curtains that are like in the background of this picture, and that was really awesome. Like I tried finding, because there's two Smile Dog images. There's this
Oh
one, and
yeah.
there's like another kind of smiling husky that's like more gradient,
Mhm.
like grainy. And like I tried finding that picture too, but I couldn't find anything. Like I really was searching like all over, and couldn't really find anything similar. Like I don't know if there's ever been any updates on that, but I haven't been able to find anything.
What was the original creepypasta story for this one? I don't think I know it. I just remember the image in this being in top 10 scariest creepypasta mod showcase.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was like, man, it would have been like 15 years since I read it. So it might I think it was something like a cursed picture. Like if you see this picture and like someone saw the picture like in their home or something, and I don't know, they were cursed somehow, and like Smile Dog came and killed them, something like that. Might have been something like that. I might be totally misremembering though.
All right, and for this next image, well, it's really more of a thumbnail for a video than an image, but
Yeah.
talk about
Oh,
that one.
this is awesome. So this is SpongeBob playing Saw, probably one of my favorite videos as a kid. I thought it was so. I remember watching this. Like I saw it in the family computer. Like when I was just a little kid, when I was like in elementary school, and sitting there watching this, like scared me so much, like totally like freaked me out like crazy. Like it was interesting, and like I just clicked on it because I was like, like as a kid you just type in SpongeBob into YouTube and you try to find whatever you can because you're bored. Like I would do that all the time. So like this video came up, and like I watched maybe like almost all of it until it starts showing like actual video from Saw. And then like it's freaked me out too much, and then I just left. And yeah, this was that's my memory of this, seeing it as a kid, and like it totally gave me nightmares. Like I remember telling my friends about it at lunch, because like at lunch when I was in like third or fourth grade, like all we would do was be like was talk about like cool YouTube videos that we saw, and like things that we saw the night before, and be like, you have to look this up when you get home. Like that was a lot of what we did at lunch. So I remember I was like, this was a cool video, even though it scared me. I was like, this was a cool video. So like I told them about it, and then they all went home and got traumatized.
Because I remember in the same video, because when I watched that, I was like, dude, that unlocked the memory. This video used to scare me. And then you also had this other one in that video. It was the green SpongeBob. I forgot what it was called, because I remember watching that as a kid too. I don't know why I was scared of that one. It was just weird.
Yeah, it was weird. It was creepy, like the way they animated it. It's really like low budget and like ugly looking. Like yeah, you're talking about a SpongeBob, but he's like a bag of weed or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. That's yeah. Like I remember seeing that like uploaded all over YouTube, like at some point. That was another thing where I just typed in SpongeBob and like that would show up too, you know?
Did you ever
And
watch the SpongeBob Chinese one? Because that one scared me too. I mean, now it's
yeah.
just really wacky, but that really racist version of SpongeBob, I remember that scaring me too. I didn't even understand why it scared me. It was just weird.
Yeah, I 100% remember that. Like I watched that too as a kid, of course. And it didn't scare me necessarily, but I remember thinking while I was watching it, like, this is boring. Like something needs to happen. Like I was like 8 and I didn't understand like any of the like social commentary or whatever was being said.
There's this one comic artist, and he made a SpongeBob horror manga, and it is great. Like I'm doing a video on it right now. I have the script done now. I just have to record it. Originally, I was gonna do that video instead of. I don't know if you saw my channel, but I have a video called "Most Disturbing TikTok Rabbit Hole."
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna do the SpongeBob horror one instead before I found that account, the TikTok account.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's this SpongeBob horror manga, and it's about Patrick. It's called Soylent Pig, like it's a reference to Soylent Green. But it's about Patrick. Mm-hmm. They try to transform him into like this Junji Ito Lovecraftian monster. So now he's just duplicating himself, eating the citizens of Bikini Bottom. And there's just like a bunch of anime references to it. Like Squidward becomes the Attack Titan. There's just like a bunch of like references to it, and it's just really amazing.
That's so sick. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, there's an animated version someone made. It's not an official animation, and then there's also the manga.
Dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would yeah, I'll be waiting for that one. That's cool. I've never heard of that.
You try the new Wendy's Krabby Patty?
No, I haven't. I've heard it's terrible. Somehow.
I've heard it's terrible.
Like it's like, yeah, I've heard it's terrible, and I'm like, it's just a burger. Like how could it be that bad? But the what is it, like the shake or whatever, the frosty, the pineapple frosty seems pretty good.
Yeah. Think of what else in terms of SpongeBob horror. Did a SpongeBob episode ever like scare you?
Yeah. Okay. Like when they're in Sandy's dome, I don't remember what it is, but the butterfly lands on SpongeBob's face, and then you see like the up close version of the butterfly.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, that scared me a lot as a kid.
Isn't that a horsefly? I think I remember watching a top 100 SpongeBob facts, and then one of them was that was an actual horsefly instead of a butterfly.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't know that.
I think the episode that scared me most in terms of SpongeBob was the episode the Flying Dutchman just crashes into their neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
He just crashes into their neighborhood, and all of a sudden, Squidward, SpongeBob, and Patrick, they're all just trapped on the Flying Dutchman's ship. I remember just that creeping me out.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, there's
of being
lost media
creepy.
connected to that one, but it was eventually found.
Really?
Yeah, so at the end of the episode, what happens? I think you remember. SpongeBob chooses to escape, but they all turn into the Flying Dutchman smoothie.
Right.
So they were never supposed to escape, but on Nickelodeon at the time that aired, they were having a voting competition. So they had SpongeBob's ending, Patrick's ending, and Squidward's ending. So as Patchy
Mm-hmm.
the Pirate is saying, vote for one, and that one will escape.
Mm-hmm.
Endings were lost media for a while, and then someone eventually found them.
Yeah, actually, now that you mentioned that, I do remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I had no idea that it was a contest or anything. Like I just thought it was. Thought that's how the episode ended.
All right, the next photo I'm going to show you is this one.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. Probably like one of my favorite, like weird core kind of dream core, like kind of like nostalgia images. This is Gabrielle Traversat's like hill image, and yeah, I found it. I just found it really like odd looking. You know, like I would always find it in compilations where it was really like low quality, like kind of grainy, and when it's like 240p or whatever, like you know, you can't really tell if it's a real image or not. Like even though it's weird, and I remember like seeing the actual like clear image and being like, wow, this is like it's just a cool piece of art. And yeah, I remember finding it and thinking that it'd be cool to find like the pieces of the image and or just like where it came from. And yeah, and it's this artist. It's Gabrielle Traversat.
So this is like an actual image, or is it just like, yeah, just like edited or painted?
Yeah, it's just it's like she does Photoshop collages, and this was just one of them. It was just interesting.
So where did like your interest in like the whole cursed images or liminal spaces, where'd that come from? Because that seems to be a big theme in your channel.
Yeah, definitely. Cursed images is like yeah, like I've always loved the idea of cursed images, like interesting weird images that are just like have this cursed aura, like it's just interesting. And liminal spaces kind of felt like the next evolution of that. Like the 2020 equivalent of cursed images. And yeah, it just feels like creepypastas kind of went in this direction, you know? Like it just turned into liminal spaces and like other weird things on the internet. And like I just love the feeling that they give me. Like I've always been fascinated by like the kind of like horror but also like in like nostalgia that you get from forget that you get from liminal spaces. And yeah, that's just always really fascinated me, and it's been something that I love. And like I'll like if I ever find like a place that seems really liminal, like I'll always take a picture and post it on Instagram, post it on my story or something.
I did
It's just
see a
become like
recent
a
one
part
of
of
yours.
yeah, it's just become like a part of my life that you know, that's just that's just how I am.
Yeah, you picked a great song for that one too, King Cruel.
Yeah, I love that album. That's like from last year. That's probably like my favorite album from last year. I started listening to it, that King Cruel album, and at first I was like, ah, it's all right. And then when I started playing No Man's Sky, like the space game, and playing that album in the background, it was just it fits so perfectly. And I was like, man, this is a great album. And I like would replay it over and over again while I was playing.
Okay, those are words I never heard I never expected to hear playing No Man's Sky, because I remember when that came out, everyone was talking about there's literally nothing to do. Oh,
Yeah.
I think the whole meme was No Man Buys. How long ago was that? That was must have been like 8 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like 2016. I
Okay,
wasn't
wow.
into it then. I wasn't really playing games in 2016 as much, but
Mhm.
it was like what, like 75% off on Steam or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I might as well. So like I bought it, and it was like one of the first games I played with my new PC, and it was a really fun experience. Like I have yeah, like I've gone through the whole thing like once, and I might go through it again.
Do you have a favorite video game in particular?
Little Big Planet for sure.
Any specific entry?
The first one. That's for sure like the most memories I have is playing the first one. But the second one is you know, arguably the better game. Like there's more to do, and yeah, and like yeah, like way like a bigger community, there's more to do. But man, I love that first game. Like I have like like 1,000 hours in that game. Like I like yeah, summer of like 2010, I think. I played it so much and I made all sorts of levels. Like that's like where the beginning of like me being creative came from, I think, is like making levels in Little Big Planet and being able to like just publish them and like be like, okay, like cool, like it's out there now. That's awesome. I just thought that was such a cool concept. It was like maybe like 2 years or so before I started making videos.
I never played a Little Big Planet game, but they seem really fun. Like the whole idea of making levels is always really fun to me because I really
Mm-hmm.
loved Mario Maker. I had that on the Wii U, and then I had that on the Switch, and just making levels and just trying to beat them was just always like a fun experience. So just playing other people's levels, I could
Mm-hmm.
imagine that for Little Big Planet, but times 500.
100%. Yeah. Like if Mario Maker came out when I was like 12 or 13, I would have been all over that. But for me it was Little Big Planet. Like that was my Mario Maker.
So you're a big PlayStation person. So you're like that's your top out of the Xbox and Switch, Nintendo,
Yeah,
whatever.
like uh I yeah, like when I was younger for sure, I was into PlayStation and as I got older like obviously you have less time for games that kind of thing. But I when I got a Switch, I like just barely like maybe 2 years ago, I played through like so much of the catalog that I missed and I realized like how much I actually really love Nintendo games.
Any particular Nintendo games you were fond of?
Yeah, I mean like Tears of the Kingdom was fantastic and like yeah, like I played hundreds of hours into that and Mario Maker was really fun. Like every like at lunch or like we just went like when I would get home, I would boot up Mario Maker and just like play whatever like weird level was recommended to me. Just like looking up stuff and finding stuff. That was a super fun experience.
All right. So for this next image, I got Jeff the Killer. I don't. You didn't do a video on it, right? But I just like brought it here just for funsies. We just talk about
Mm-hmm.
it because it relates to your
Yeah,
whole channel.
for sure. Like so yeah, Blame It on Jorge's video was about Jeff the Killer. The one that was titled the same title that the my A Henna Barbas Hennicide video was about. And what is it? Yeah, I know you asked me earlier like what piece of lost media would you like to be found? And I totally forgot about this. This absolutely. I would love to see what the original picture of Jeff the Killer looked like. That's a huge thing. And um yeah, like I didn't do a video on it just because I saw tons of great videos already. And I it's another awesome creepypasta image that I I'm super fond of. Like it's also really weird. And I remember Scare Theater's video from years ago about it when he interviewed who he thought was
Oh,
actually
I
the
remember
creator of Jeff the
that.
Killer.
Yeah,
And it turned out like it was all just a lie. Like
I remember that.
oh, okay. Like I remember that. I remember for a long time just believing that 100% and like not realizing until way later that that wasn't actually it like that it wasn't actually a mask or anything. And yeah, this is something that I would love to be found, I think. Like cuz I've like since I've made my videos, I've noticed there's tons of like I've started noticing that there's tons of videos of people trying to find creepypasta images similar and like a lot of them have been found, like most of them. And this is just the holy grail for sure. This would be the ultimate.
I did my high school essay on Jeff the Killer once. We were supposed to write
Really?
about an art piece. So people did like Starry Night or what other art pieces are there, like Mona Lisa. And then I
Mm-hmm.
just chose Jeff the Killer because it was a funny image. Like I didn't even know it was lost media. I just chose it because of the memes. It was something that creeped me out when I was younger. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
be different. So I just did my whole essay on Jeff the Killer. I did the Blame It on Jorge video. I went on Reddit threads. It was really
Mm-hmm.
funny just researching it because I finally read the actual Jeff the Killer story. It is really bad.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
That's
ended up getting a
awesome.
92 on that.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people just like would just tell me how funny it was because I think there had to be a Google slide. Everyone had to post their images onto it. So you just see all these classical Renaissance paintings and then just Jeff the Killer.
I have a really crappy drawing that I drew in high school. Like my sketchbook that I still have. I still have my sketchbooks. I have a like from early high school of me drawing the Jeff the Killer face, and it looks terrible.
Have you ever
But
heard of
maybe
findminecraft.net?
yeah, I
Yeah, that was like
that
the
sounds
Jeff the
familiar.
Killer image. Yeah, it was a website. When you went on it, it would be this Jeff the Killer image, but it would be just flashing, and then it have like a stock scream sound effect. So back in middle school, they gave everyone Chromebooks. So before everything got banned, a lot of people were like, "Go on findminecraft.net," and it was just another bait and switch site with this, but flashing and like screaming.
That's so crazy that that Jeff the Killer, after like 20 years, is still being used as a screamer. You know? Like it's still like the ultimate screamer, and it's been the same, like the same image. Yeah, it's just the same image, like for 20 years. I think that's awesome.
Originally on this slideshow, I had Squidward's suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have any fond memories of that one?
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite like lost episode creepypastas that I listened to, watched, or read when I was a kid, and I was super interested in it. And like I would love, my favorite thing about the Squidward suicide creepypasta is that I would love seeing the like all the fan made edits and animations that were created from it, like people saying like, oh, this is the episode found, and it would just be like really like grainy like animation, and it was that was really cool. Like I liked what people did with it.
There's a meme of Squidward's suicide, but in the captions it says, "Please enlist me into the military. I can be trusted with firearms." So someone on Twitter would just spam that in the replies of the U.S. Marine Corps like recruitment Twitter, and then they eventually got blocked. Yeah, I send that meme to my friend in the Navy a lot.
That's awesome. I've never seen that.
Yeah, just really just that.
I've seen like the normal picture of Squidward from the creepypasta, and it just says "uncreepy's your pasta," and it just shows that picture.
Wasn't there also that anime girl AI thing? It turned all the creepypasta images into anime girls.
Yeah, I saw the one. I saw the Jeff the Killer one. And I think I've seen the other ones. I see the Jeff the Killer one all the time, I feel like.
Have you ever played the Roblox game Survive and Kill the Killers in Area 51?
No, like when Roblox got popular, it was like barely past my time, I feel like.
Were you big into Gmod?
Yeah. When I was like early high school, Gmod was super interesting, and there was like Rust. The game Rust came from Gmod, and like I would play that a lot before it became Rust. And there was like it's like there was some weird like zombie games, and my friend played some weird like role playing thing called Dark RP that was super popular on Gmod, and like I never knew anything about it, but I would just like like we would do these things where I would just kind of like come over to his house and like just sit there and like watch him play stuff, and like then he would just sit there and watch me play stuff. And like that was something that I remember watching a lot, was just him play Dark RP and like just blow people up and shit.
I remember like going on the Gmod iceberg and people being like, "It's so scary playing Gmod by yourself. It's so eerie." I'm like, I can't relate.
Yeah, right. Like it's like the ultimate sandbox.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
I think that's going to bring us to our last image I'm going to show you. It's the back rooms.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like like the ultimate liminal space, the back rooms. I saw this probably for the first time. I think I must have seen it on Instagram posting, like I think on some like weird core type of like Instagram page, and like this was posted, and like the creepypasta was put in the description, or in the like under it. And I thought that was super interesting, like just a cool concept of, because it's something so relatable, like the the fluorescent lights, the yellow, and then like the smell of moist carpet. Like it's just such like a relatable image of like something where you don't exactly know where you've heard that before, but or where you've felt that, but like you felt that before,
Yeah.
And that's what I really like about the back rooms. And it's awesome. Like I'm super glad that it did eventually get found. Like I remember in like 2020, the YouTuber David Crypt was like super into trying to find it, and like had this whole thing going. And like it took years. It took a few years, but it was just laying there dormant. Like someone had found it like on Twitter like years ago, and then we just found, like, people ended up just finding that tweet, and That's so sick. Like I for real expected this to never get found, but I thought that was awesome.
What do you think about like backrooms now? Because it's really changed. Because when I think of the backrooms, I think of you no clip through the floor, you end up in this room, and that's it. You're just lost here forever
Mm-hmm.
in this infinite room, and it's just very nostalgic. And then you have the Kane Pixels, like his version of it with the levels and the
Mm-hmm.
entities. And then of course there's the whole people adding like I don't know. I'm thinking like YouTube, like the YouTube kids kind of characters like Pomni or what's that one? What's that one animatronic game? Not FNAF. It's the one that Gen Alpha really loves with the
Yeah.
blue, whatever his name is. Yeah,
Yeah,
just people
yeah.
adding entities into it and like adding all these levels. Because I remember there's a bunch of YouTube shorts. This AI
Mm-hmm.
voice would just be like, "What would happen if this happened in the back rooms? What would happen if you go to a
Mm-hmm.
backrooms level this or name of
Yeah.
backrooms entity?" Like, what do you think about all that?
Yeah, I mean, like, people yeah, like I've seen a lot of videos like that where people are like the end of the back rooms, and it's yeah, like it's different now than it was, when it started. Like it's kind of like a different, like yeah, it's completely different. But honestly, like that's kind of just what happens, like with art or with like creepypastas, like stuff on the internet. When stuff gets popular, like it just kind of turns into something else entirely. And and you just kind of have to expect that. Like the backrooms, yeah, like the same kind of thing happened. But at the same time, like those Kane Pixels videos inspired like tons of other people to learn Blender and then like make their own models and like their own like stories and stuff. And I think that's really interesting too, and like maybe like for a lot of like the kids that were like interested in it and like are making stuff right now, like maybe they'll make something really cool later, eventually, but like this is just like their start. And I think it's, it is what it is. That's just kind of what happens with things on the internet.
Yeah, do you like analog horror?
Yeah, I like the concept. I haven't seen much though. Like I don't know, I just don't have a lot of patience for it.
Yeah, because I'm very
But
mixed on analog horror because I like Mandela Catalog, I like Vita Carnis, Monument
Mhm,
Mythos, Local 58. That's an absolute classic. But like
mhm,
my opinion is the same as everyone else's, where it's an oversaturated genre. And then of
mhm.
course there's people like Urban Spook, for example, who just well, he's his own breed. That's all I'm gonna say. He's his own
Yeah.
breed.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of the same kind of thing going on with analog horror. Like it just it's yeah, it's very oversaturated and it's all kind of like just the same thing over and over again, Like how many times are you going to see like grainy footage and, and like After Effects kind of that like these After Effects and Blender mixed together, you know what I mean? Like how many
Yeah.
times is that going to be interesting to you?
So in terms of cursed images and liminal spaces, do you see them as like a dying trend? Do you think are you still like interested in them, or have they just like fallen off for you?
That's interesting. Yeah, I guess like yeah, it's kind of like it was very big at one point and not so big anymore. And but that's how it goes with art movements. And like I
Yeah.
considered liminal spaces and cursed images and creepypasta images like that's like it, they're all their own art, And I think that you just have to kind of be on the lookout to see what's next, because I feel like they all kind of relate to each other,
Yeah.
Cursed images is like kind of the precursor to liminal spaces. And yeah, we just have to kind of see what's next, I think. And yeah, liminal spaces is like it's interesting and like I'll be interested in it forever. And I think it'll probably relate to whatever comes next.
So what do you think is the current art movement now?
Man, I really wish I knew the answer to that. I'm not sure. I just have to like just keep on be on the lookout.
What I'm just thinking of is, but it's mainly like a TikTok or an Instagram Reels exclusive thing. It's a bunch of like these
Mhm,
horror edits. But like you said, it does relate to previous trends because it revolves around nostalgia. Like a lot of them
mhm,
use like Windows XP or like Nintendo DS kind of graphics. And they'll
mhm.
also just have like anime from 2010 or like a horror game like Fatal Frame and just edit them together and distort them in such a way. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking of.
Always it yeah, it always relates to nostalgia, and it always a lot of it has to do with horror, and yeah, it keeps like building on itself and is becoming its own thing. I feel like in like 20 years or so, this will be talked about as like art history, 100%.
Yeah. Why is
Mm-hmm.
nostalgia such a big deal for you? Because for some people, it's like, all right, the past is the past, get over it. And then there's people like, let's say you and me, who are just talking about all these things from the past, trying to like
Mm-hmm.
just talking about them. So why is like nostalgia such like a big factor for you?
So yeah, I think for me specifically, like I like to see like where I came from, you know, and like what
Yeah.
inspired me, and like what like why I'm into the things I'm into, why why uh why like I create the things that I create, you know, like my art. Yeah, and like looking back at nostalgia is a big part of that. Like looking at the things that were really interesting to me as a kid, and uh yeah, that's a huge part of that. Like that's why it's interesting to me, at least. It's like, yeah, and that, and then also like a big thing that I do is like I feel like I can categorize my life into eras almost. You know, like things that I was into, things that I was making at the time. And yeah, in order to do that, like I have to look back a lot and just see what I was doing. But yeah, it's like for some people, it's like they don't even like think about it. And then like for people like you and me, it's like it's a big part of our life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a new take on nostalgia because that is very true. Everything you said, it makes you think about where you started, like why you're into the things you're into. Because
Hmm.
with a lot of people, the answer I've been getting, and it's the answer I've been saying too, it's that simply put, it just takes us back to a simpler time. And and then
Hmm.
another thing, the dead internet theory, which was something you talked about in a video.
Yeah,
You want to define what that is?
is basically uh is basically like AI taking over the internet. And like I feel like we have reached that internet theory if you scroll through comments or scroll through like threads and you don't know if it was a human or not that made that thread or comment. You know, that's when we've reached that internet theory. And like, you know, if you can tell with AI generated art and ChatGPT and so on, we're very close to that.
Yeah. Did you see the new Elon Musk robots?
No.
You didn't know? You don't know about that? Like, I think there was like a Elon Musk had this whole tech conference. I didn't know about it till like yesterday, but he has
Hmm.
these new robots, and they're basically like iRobots. It's like the whole point of these robots is to do your chores. It's basically the
Hmm.
plot of iRobot.
Crazy. Yeah, I had no
Yeah,
idea.
you didn't know about that. What is your take on AI art or AI music, AI anything?
Yeah, it kind of sucks because like you know, like for me as an artist, I studied art in school, and like I kind of just graduated. Like I graduated in 2022, and then I took supplemental classes to learn 3D art. Yeah, I don't know. It just, I mean, like it's frustrating that like a lot of like like it doesn't wipe out jobs, like good jobs, like big jobs, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but everything that was like entry level stuff is gone. You know, like none of
Mm-hmm.
that exists anymore, and that's because of AI art. And yeah, that's just the way it is. You know, it is what it is, and you know, and people who make AI art and like pass it off as their own is not really a great thing. I don't
Mm-hmm.
support that. But, you know, at the end of the day, like if it's being used at all, it's just a tool. Like, you know, it's just like a process to something bigger, you know. It should never be the final product, I think.
So, do you ever think like AI art is going to completely replace artists?
Completely replace, probably not. I think the reality is that like small jobs for art don't really exist anymore because of it.
Yeah.
And like mostly visual art, and you know, like writing, like I guess smaller stuff for like writing gigs, like journalism and whatnot, could be replaced too with art, with AI.
Have you ever heard
Yeah,
of AI
probably not like,
music?
yes, a little bit. I yeah, a tiny bit, but not like, I don't know if there's like anything bigger that I've missed or something.
Yeah, there's just a website where you can type a prompt and then put it into a genre, and then yeah, AI will just make a song, and it's listenable stuff. It's nothing
Mm-hmm.
amazing, but it's listenable stuff. Like you could
Mm.
probably hear it on the radio.
Yeah, yeah, I think I've heard something like that.
Yeah. There's a conspiracy right now on Spotify that you know how Spotify would recommend you playlists?
Mhm.
So basically, there's a conspiracy that Spotify is just recommending these playlists full of AI music, and people are
Mm.
figuring this out because the songs sound very generic, very samey, and just they just sound odd. Like I think the one clue someone got on TikTok was that all the hi hats were the same,
Mm.
but they were
Hmm.
all different genres, but the hi hats were the same.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad that like for it right now at least that people can tell, you know? Like if I see something that's if I see AI, something that's like AI visual art, then like I can tell, you know? And it's like not you can't tell like on first glance, but like if you look at it or listen to it, you know, then you can tell.
Mhm.
And it's like yeah, at least for right now we have that.
I know there's the whole Luna thing. That's the dream AI, the video AI. That one's terrifying. I'll just watch animations in that.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrifying in two ways. One way is because sometimes the Luma will be very, very good, that
Mm-hmm.
it could just replace animators, and another time it's just terrifying because this stuff just looks terrifying. It just looks really bad, like a nightmare, like a fever dream.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's yeah, it yeah, like all the weird like amalgamations of things and like different genres and different like drawings put together. Everything looks kind of glossy. It's just like it's very much like a nightmare, like creepy almost.
I think like around like half the stuff on Fiverr now is all AI, and that is kind of like wow.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, if you go on Fiverr, like a bunch of like things you could commission, like say you want a drawing of yourself, people are just gonna AI it. Like they're not even
Mm-hmm.
gonna try.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've seen a lot of yeah, like yeah, it's just it'll be interesting to see how it affects like content creation and social media, you know?
Yeah.
Like in the coming years. Like I feel like
Mhm.
right now it already is affecting it, especially, you know, like especially short form content, but I feel like in a few years like it'll be interesting to see like what sticks and what doesn't, you know? Like what stays
Mhm.
what's a gimmick and what's not. You know what I mean?
So I noticed you travel a lot. Like you were just out of town yesterday, and then when I first contacted you, you were in Latin America. So just talk about
Yeah.
like you traveling. Like what's this all about? Like do you love traveling? Is it just you just have these trips planned out like a while ago? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, this was just it was honestly just kind of bad timing. So
Yeah.
sorry about that by the
No, you're
way.
good. You're good.
But
You're good.
yeah, like I went on a trip with my mom to the country of Belize, and it was something that we had planned out like months in advance, and yeah, that was super fun. That was like I had never been to Latin America, so that was really fun, and was like a totally different experience than anything I had ever felt. And yeah, and then like a few like maybe ish a month later or so, then I just went up with my friends to Big Bear, California, and yeah, like we just had this thing planned where we were gonna go to like Oktoberfest and then just like have a little like 4 day vacation.
That's cool. I've been to Big Bear, but not for Oktoberfest. I was just there for like quick vacay.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it was like obviously it's not snowing right now or anything, but it was just
Mhm.
fun to be up there and like yeah, like just be in a different place. It's about maybe like a 3 hour drive for me.
Would you ever move out of California to anywhere else?
I'm not sure. It seems like I mean, the weather's pretty nice, so I can't really complain. I don't know. Like, if I were to move out, it would hopefully be to like somewhere cheaper. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I it's pretty nice here. I can't complain.
All right. So for some other questions I have, pretty much
Hmm.
gone down to our last two. So I just have some basic ones. You're doing anything special for Halloween or this the whole spooky season, Spooktober, October?
I've been starting. You know, I've been drawing a lot more. I've been trying to like make more like kind of horror themed like creepypasta esque like drawings. And I think like I'll probably post every few week or every few days like something new that I'm making. Like I just want to really hone in on that again because I used to draw a lot and then I kind of dropped out of it and so I'm trying to like get back into it and like get my skills back.
All right, and since we're on the end of our episode, there's always one thing I do. There's one thing I'm going to do at the end of each episode, and that's something I call Mariana Sketch. I'm going to tell you a fun fish fact, and then you have to draw that fish in the span of a minute. So my fish fact for you today is ancient Romans used to farm moray eels in seaside ponds as they were considered a delicacy. And the animal you have to draw is a moray eel. I'm going to start the timer. Let me get a timer out. You know what a moray eel looks like, right? Or you can just draw an eel. You can just draw an eel. Like what you think is an eel. You don't have to do a moray eel. All right.
All right, sure. I got you.
All right. Ready? Gotcha. All right. Started the timer.
I don't have like a reference or anything, so I'm just kind of like winging it.
Yeah, just do what you think an eel looks like.
Okay.
And your time is up.
Oh no. All right.
Let me see this.
For sure. Okay. Do I just hold it up to the camera or?
Yeah, you can just hold it up to the camera.
All right, let's see what we got.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Before we end today's episode, you want any closing thoughts? Anything to plug in? Anything to say to the audience?
I guess I'll plug. I guess I make videos. Like I recently started making stickers on Etsy. I do that now too. So
I mean, yeah, just thanks for hopping on. But yeah, the first guest on this show. So I mean, yeah, just thanks for coming on.
Of course, yeah, for sure. Thank you for letting me be a part of this and for being like the first guest. Like that's a big deal.
No, I mean, yeah, this has been Deep Blue, and yeah, just subscribe, like, comment. This might be on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, anything like that. And yeah, we're signing out.